One thing about me is I'm going to share a beading tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing how this gorgeous beading pattern was created on these dresses that we have right here on the screen. I'm going to share the names of the beads that were used, where you can find them, how to recreate something like this on your outfits and hair accessories. So if you'll be interested, please make sure you watch this video to the end, subscribe, like this video, share this video with a friend, drop me questions in the comment section. Alright guys, let's get straight into today's tutorial. Let's go. Alright guys, so for the first beading pattern that we are going to be working on, which is the dangling chain beading pattern, we are going to be using 3 different types of bead as shown in the video at the beginning of this video. Anyway, so the first type of bead that we are going to be using is this one that we call the teardrop bead. I believe somebody asked me a question, I think sometime in January or sometime last year in December. I talked about this teardrop type of crystal bead, and she was like, she wanted to see what it looked like, but for some, it's been a busy couple of months. I'm sure you guys can tell from the consistency and everything with the content on the channel. So apologies to that person if for any reason she's watching this video. So this is what the teardrop crystal bead looks like. This chain, this line of teardrop crystal bead, I think I bought it from Charity for 700 naira. Please don't quote me. Reach out to her if you want to buy and ask her how much she sells it. I got it from Charity in Mile 1. If you don't know who Charity is, if you are new here, first of all, I live in River State, Port Harcourt, Nigeria. No, I live in Port Harcourt, River State, Nigeria. And one of my vendors, her name is Charity, and her shop is located in Mile 1 Market out here in Port Harcourt. So for people that live in Port Harcourt, or even if you live outside Port Harcourt and you'd like Charity to ship to you, I shared a video where I showed you guys her shop and a couple of things that she sells. So I'm going to link that video on the screen. Check the description bar of that video and get Charity's number and reach out to her. And remember to always tell her that you're coming from Funmibi Olawore's YouTube channel, so she knows that her sister is out here plugging her in. All right, so I got this teardrop crystal bead from her, and we are going to be using this bead for the purpose of this video. We are also going to be using our crystal bead. This is the crystal bead in color in champagne gold, and it's size 6. This is what it looks like. We are also going to be using our cut bead. If you don't know what cut bead, some people call it the broken glass bead. This is also it, but this one is in yellow gold. It's not in this same shade of gold, but yeah, by the time we couple everything together, it's going to make sense. If you have your hands on a matching color of bead all through, that would be perfect. But because I'm just sharing a tutorial with you guys, I just decided to just, rock with it. So all right, enough of the talking. Now it's time to get started. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be using my beading needle, and this is the beading needle in size 12. I think you can use the size 11 beading needle. If you don't know how to choose the right beading needle for your project, I have a video where I shared how to know the right type of beading needle to choose for your work. I'm going to link that video also on the screen. Go check it out. But people that have seen that video know the reason why I'm using this size of beading needle. All right, so as usual, in order to do the dangling chain pattern, what you want to do is first of all pick one of these tiny beads. You could have also gotten away with using what we call the sand bead or seed bead for this beginning phase, but because it's the cut bead that I have with me, I have sand bead, but I'm too tired to go get it. So I just picked just one piece of broken glass bead. I believe we can see this is where it is. All right, so I'm going to pull it all the way down to the end where my knot is. You see that I've already knotted up my thread. I'm going to also try to highlight it so we see where it is now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm now going to pass this my needle through the knots like so. Please use, when doing your work on a client's work or on your own dress, please use the appropriate color of thread. I'm not supposed to be using black thread for this kind of work, but so you guys can see clearly, and because I'm even too tired to even start threading a new batch of thread, I have some threaded, black. I have some needles threaded with black thread. That's why I'm using this black thread. So now that I passed my needle through my knots, this is what we have here. Can we see the bead at the end? If I'd used a matching color of thread, say a champagne gold thread or a cream colored thread, everything would look seamless. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick one of these, my teardrop crystal bead. All right guys, so I've picked up my teardrop bead. This is what it looks like. I could decide to let the teardrop face up like this while passing, or face down like this while passing it. It's all your call, okay? But for the sake of this, my work, I'm going to allow it face up like so. So I'm just going to pass the teardrop bead to the bottom like this. Next thing, I'm going to pick a couple of size 6 crystal beads, depending on how long I want it to be. All right, so this portion too is your call. If you want the fringe to dangle very well and be very long, put as many beads as you like. If you want it to just be moderate, say like this length, you can stop here. I'm going to show us 2 different styles of creating this dangling chain beading pattern, so you can decide which one you want to rock for which of your dresses or hair accessories. Honestly, there's no limit to where you can even make this on. If you're the kind of person that makes handmade bags, you can make your bag and then put this chain beading pattern at the brim of the bag and just create it as a vibe around the bag. There's no limit to how you can incorporate all these beading details to your work. Anyway, enough of the inspiration. So now this is what we have here. So what I'm going to do next is, let me increase my light so you guys see clearly. All right, so now that my light is bright, I hope we all can see what I'm doing. So now that this is what we have here, you're just going to simply, depending on where you want to place this chain beading pattern that you've done, you just sew it on. For the sake of the video that we saw at the beginning, we saw that the chain beading was done at the brim of the sleeve, the exaggerated sleeve that was done on the dress. So just determine where you want to sew it and then pull on your thread. While pulling, in order for the dangling chain to have its dangly feeling to it, don't pull too tight on your thread. If you pull too tight, this is how the thing will be standing. Can we see? It will be looking too pointy. But just let it just dangle a little bit so that when you're moving around, just like we saw at the beginning, the chain beading will just be shaking and giving you like this sparkly effect. All right, so now that you've done that, you just bring it out again to the front like so, and then pass your needle back again. And then you can now secure. You can do that whole passing back and forth as many times as you like. All right, then once that is done, you secure your work. Voila, our dangling chain is ready. I hope we all understood what I did there. If we have questions, as usual, first of all, make sure that you have watched the video from the beginning to this point and you have fully digested it and you're still confused, then drop your question in the comment section and I'll be very happy to respond. A lot of times, the question that people ask me, more often than not every time, but most times when people ask questions is because they skipped the video and they missed an important information. So it's not always fair to me as a person creating these videos for you guys that all I just need you to do is just watch the video and fully understand. But a lot of people will not watch, then they'll still be asking questions in the comment section. It's not always nice because it makes me know that you didn't watch the video. So because if you had watched the video, you won't have that question. Anyway, this is not me scolding you people, I'm just saying. We have a few people that, and I understand attention span can be a huge challenge for a lot of us. Even me, I'm guilty too. So God will help us all. So for the next one, the next style that I was saying I wanted to show you guys, I've already passed. Can we see? This light is now too bright. Let me reduce it for us. So can we see the single, what's it called, broken glass bead right there? All right, so now it's time to pass my needle through the knots like so. And once that is done, what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to pick a couple of these size 6 crystal beads. I'll pick maybe like 4. Like I said, I'm only picking this number of beads because of what I'm trying to just illustrate for us. Feel free to change all these quantities when doing your own. So I'll pick like 4. Then I'll take it up a notch by picking one of this, my teardrop bead, okay, like so. Pass it. This is what we have here now. I hope it's clear to us. Then I'll go back in again, pick about 4 size 6 crystal beads again. Then go in with one more teardrop crystal bead like so. So I could have continued picking 4 crystal beads, 1 teardrop, 4 crystal bead, 1 teardrop. I could have done that all the way through. I'm going to put on the side here now, somewhere here, I'm going to put a dress that this kind of bead pattern was done and the end result. It looked absolutely phenomenal, okay? So you could do this as well if this other one that we did here is still too basic for you, because I know some of us are we like to go off when it comes to our design. So this is going to be such a vibe on a dress or on any form of accessory that you choose to incorporate it into. All right, so now that that is done, I'm just going to first of all pull on my bead a little bit. You want it to be dangling, but you don't want it to be too dangly too at the same time, so the dress does not look, or the beadwork does not look poorly done. So now that we've done that, I'm just going to secure my thread, pass it back outside again. I'm going to repeat it again. Please use a matching color of thread, or you can even use your fishing line, the clear fishing line in size 0.25. If you don't know about fishing lines as well, I have a video where I talked just about fishing lines, how to know their sizes, and how to choose the right fishing line for your beadwork or project. So I'm going to link that video again on the screen. If I didn't link it, please scroll to the bottom of the description. You'll see about 5 videos at the bottom. Watch them, digest them, and I'm sure you'll be fine. So this is the end result of this particular beading pattern that I just worked on. I hope we all understood. If you have questions, again, feel free to drop them in the comment section. If you found this very useful as well, let me know by hitting the thumbs up button on this video. So the next beading pattern that we're going to be working on is the one where we use appliques. Remember at the beginning of the video, I showed a particular dress that was made as well by Vicky James. Okay, the dresses at the beginning of the video are not mine. I don't own the videos. I just pick snippets from Instagram and come here to just share tutorials on how I believe we can achieve those designs. All right, so I'm going to show us how you can use your ready-made appliques, or you can create your own appliques if you're about that life. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to show how you can use your ready-made appliques to accessorize dresses. So I'm going to now go get my applique and show us what to do.